All right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. It's Monday morning, September the 2nd, 2024. It is Labor Day. It's a holiday. Hopefully, you guys aren't working today, have the day off to enjoy. If that's the case, you're probably not up watching this live. But as always, the Monday Morning Live show does upload as a regular video right after we're done with the live stream. Ryan Kruitoff has been in real estate for over 20 years and can help you with all your real estate needs. Whether you're looking to sell your home, buy your home, maybe you want to get into the rental business for extra income, he can help you with that. Ring Realtor Ryan. Got to start out with an important announcement. Going into football season, we've now added our NFL pick show and our prop bet Pete show. So with all that being said, we're going to adjust our schedule now for the week here for football season. So with that being said, this show, the Monday Morning Live show, is actually going to now move to Friday mornings. So after today, starting next week, we're going to go Friday morning live. And instead of kind of recapping some of the things that happened in the world of sports over the weekend, we'll kind of look ahead to the weekend and look at, obviously for the next several weeks, we'll look ahead at like kind of what's going on with college football and the NFL schedule for that weekend. And probably also be able to talk about some of the things that happened during the week as well in the world of sports. So, important announcement, last Monday Morning Live show right now, and we're going to move it to Friday morning lives. And then the daily lineup show that we've been doing with myself and Trent and Big Mo that we've been doing on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to move that up to do it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now. So instead of doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the daily lineup show now is going to move to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's going to be at 7 p.m. still. So same time, just slightly different days. And then, that's it, right? So the podcast with myself and Big Mo, that's going to still be Saturday mornings. And then we just had this past yesterday, the first edition of this year's NFL Pick Show and also Prop Bet Pete's show. So the NFL Pick Show, this is year 2 of that, and that will be every week. Chad Zagar and Peter Hunsberger go head-to-head. They each make 3 picks for the week. Looking at the lines, maybe sometimes it might be an over-under. Anyway, they're giving us 3 picks each week in the NFL season, and we keep an ongoing tally of how they're doing. And then at the end of the season, the non-winner will have some sort of penalty. Last year, the non-winner donated to the West Leonard Heart team, and then and last year Peter was the non-winner. But then Zager generously matched that donation as well. So we'll probably do something like that again. So again, that comes out every Monday morning at 9 a.m. And then right after that at 10 a.m., we have our Peter has his own little prop bet show where he gives us 3 prop bets for the week. So that will be Sundays. And then, so again, going forward, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 p.m., the daily lineup show with myself, Big Mo, and Trent. And then Saturdays will be the podcast with myself and Big Mo, the Attack the Rack podcast. And then Sundays will be the NFL Pick Show and Prop Bet Pete's show. So enough of that. We'll talk about that probably throughout the week just to make sure everyone's aware of what's going on. College football, big weekend. Michigan took on Fresno State at home, number 9 ranked Wolverines, kicking off the season with a night game. Um, a little bit underwhelming, right? When you see the final score, what was it, 30-10, and you see that score, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of typical Michigan. They don't necessarily run up the score in these early games against these bad teams. And Fresno State is not a bad team. They were pretty solid. But you got to remember too that 30-10 is a little misleading when in the fourth quarter it was 16-10 only early in the fourth quarter, and Michigan got 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, one of which was a defensive touchdown, a pick six, by Will Johnson. But the defense, speaking of that, the defense looked great. Had a few sacks, 2 interceptions, that including the Will Johnson pick six, obviously in the fourth quarter. So defense looked great. Donovan Edwards, who we're hoping is going to blow up this season and have a great season, he was pretty underwhelming. But Mullings, the other running back, he looked pretty good. I think he did end up with over 100 yards rushing, I believe. So pretty underwhelming. Quarterback play not great. Orgy 1 for 2, only 2 pass attempts. So we'll see going forward. Obviously, they're going to have to figure out the quarterback situation. Who's it going to be? And we got a big game coming up Saturday against top 5 ranked Texas. So if they play like they played against Fresno State, at least on the offensive side of the ball, could be a long afternoon for the Wolverines. Hopefully, they've got a few days here to try to get it together. Now, speaking of Michigan football, anybody out there see the Connor Stallions documentary on Netflix? I thought it was really well done. And I feel like it was pretty fair. Obviously, Connor Stallions had a huge part in it. But Ohio State junkie LeBron James was one of the producers of the documentary. So I feel like, obviously, Michigan fans are the most interested in this, and probably the next most interested fan base is Ohio State, probably Michigan State too. But I feel like if you are a Michigan fan, you can kind of walk away from that documentary feeling pretty good, like, no big deal, no big deal. But also, like, you can walk away saying, not really that biased at all. But I also feel like if you're an Ohio State fan, you walk away from that documentary still thinking that Michigan is the worst thing, ever, the worst, the biggest cheaters of all time. And you're probably walking away feeling like everything that you thought about Michigan football or about the situation was true. And so you're kind of walking away feeling like it was, not biased either. So I thought however they wrote it, produced it, it ended up kind of being pretty fair for whichever side you're on. The guy, Connor Stallions, say what you want about him. One thing, he is an absolute genius. The way that he can figure out the signs and the system that he went about and all the time, energy, and effort that he put into it. I thought it was interesting too that one of the reasons they brought him on is because Michigan was not. Now you got to remember, sign stealing is legal as long as you're not in person going to games ahead of time and videotaping the sidelines. That, for some reason, is illegal in college athletics or college football, at least. But to watch game film and, or like during the game live, it's not illegal to steal signs. It's just illegal to go watch your upcoming opponent ahead of time in person and videotape it. So, first of all, the rule is stupid, makes 0 sense. In high school athletics and high school football, you can send somebody to a game ahead of time and have them videotape live in person, but you can't in college football. So absolutely stupid rule, which at least that can bring people together. I think everyone agrees on that. But if it is a rule and a rule is broken, no matter how stupid it is, then obviously you broke a rule. There's consequences. It does appear, I would say, by watching that in my opinion, Connor Stallions definitely was sending people to games and having them film the sidelines just to help him in his efforts to steal the signs. Now, he did have a pretty good. I mean, in the beginning, you see all the time and effort that he put into the sign stealing, and you wonder, did he really actually need that video footage? And the way he put it is, he was denying it, and he was saying that, well, yeah, I bought tickets for people to go to football games, and sometimes it sounds like he literally had maybe a little bit of a side hustle where he would buy and sell tickets, um, you know, flipping tickets. And then sometimes he would give them to friends and family. That's how he put it. And then the way that he explained it is, well, yeah, sometimes they would send me video, and he was like, well, hey, he was nice. The way he put it is, I was friendly. I said, thank you. But he was like, I really didn't need that footage because I've already seen, or I already know what the signs are. So I don't know if I totally believe him on that one. But, and then obviously there's that photo of him on the sidelines at the Central Michigan game, the Central Michigan State game, and he's dressed in all Central gear, kind of looking like an incognito Central Michigan coach. He denied that was him. I think that was clearly him. The one thing I will say is there is, no evidence or proof that we know of yet that anyone outside of Connor Stallions knew what he was doing. And I think that that's a very believable to think that Harbaugh and the other coaches didn't know about it. All they knew is that they have this guy, this coach, Connor Stallions. His job is to steal signs. And all they knew is that he's standing next to them on the sidelines and he's telling them what's coming. They very well maybe had no idea that he was going above and beyond what your typical sign stealer would do. I think that's very believable, to believe that they had no idea he was doing this. It sounds like it was all his own thing, completely rogue. He was working, sounds like he had a booster that was funding the whole thing. So these two guys are, Connor Stallions and this booster are just on the side trying to even more so be able to get the signs, and all the coaches knew is that this guy's doing his job. His job is to steal signs, and he was doing it. And they very well could have thought he was doing it the way that every other sign stealer coach in the country was doing it. And honestly, let's be honest. There's no way that probably every single program in the country is doing what Connor Stallions was, organizing, having somebody live in the stands videotaping. There's no way that not every major program for sure is doing that. Let's be honest. Michigan just got caught. But I did find it interesting too that in the beginning they were talking about how Michigan was behind the game when it comes to sign stealing, and they weren't even doing any sign stealing despite it being legal, despite everybody else doing it. And Michigan was not doing it until they brought on Connor Stallions. I thought that was kind of interesting too. So, but I'd love to know in the comments, what do you think about the Connor Stallions documentary? Hopefully we'll be able to talk about it this upcoming week on the Daily Lineup Show one day with Trent and Big Mo and get their take on it as well. It'll be interesting to get Trent's take because he's an Ohio State fan. So we'll see. Moving along here. Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. Wow, what a weekend for them. 2 big wins. Destroyed the Chicago Sky on Friday night. 100-81. Down early by double digits, and then came roaring back up a few at halftime, and then ended up rolling in the second half. Caitlin Clark career high 31 points in that one. Angel Reese continued her double season, but in order to do so in a 20-point deficit with a few minutes left when everyone typically empties their bench. They kept Angel Reese in so she could get, I think she needed 1 or 2 more rebounds and she needed 6 more points. And so they left her in the game so she could get her double-double, which is absolutely ridiculous. To me, like, I don't understand what the big deal is about double-doubles. I don't ever remember in my lifetime of watching basketball where anyone really made a big deal about a double-double. I think it is a big deal if it's with points and assists because it's super hard to get double-digit assists. But if you're a post player like Angel Reese, you should be getting 10 rebounds and you should be getting 10 points. Now, it'd be more impressive if she was averaging like 20 points a game and 18 rebounds. Now you're talking about something pretty impressive. But she's not. She's averaging like 11 points and 10 rebounds. So, although that's awesome, like any team would love to have a post player in their starting lineup doing that. It's not like it's incredibly difficult or superstar status to be getting 11 points and 10 rebounds. Again, if you're a post player, that's kind of what you should be doing. The 10 rebounds, a post player should be getting 10 rebounds. And the 11 points that she's getting a game, 11, 12 points, whatever it is, 10, 11, 12 points. That's great. That's kind of role player numbers. So the fact that the media likes to make a big deal out of these double doubles and her team and is in my opinion pretty ridiculous. Reaching for straws. People continue to talk about her in the conversation for rookie of the year. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you watch the games, there's no way that Angel Reese should be rookie of the year over Caitlin Clark. And hopefully all eyes were tuned in to watch them play against each other Friday night. And if you walk away from that game still saying Angel Reese is a rookie of the year, then you're obviously picking her for other reasons other than just straight basketball. And then let's, again, not forget how much the Indiana Fever have improved with her on the roster from last year to this year. They only had a couple wins last year. Obviously, they're the worst team in the league. That's why they got the number 1 pick. And this year now, they are 17-16, a game over 500, almost locked in now for the playoffs. Whereas Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, on the other hand, are still trying to. They're fighting for a spot. They may lose that spot here tonight. Obviously, there's still plenty of games left where if they do lose that spot tonight, they could gain it back. But the Chicago Sky, their record is significantly now worse than it was last year. All kinds of drama in that locker room from what we're hearing. Kennedy Carter and Angel Reese not getting along. Mabry, the shooter, coming off at the trade deadline, she gets traded to the Sun. She wanted out because of the toxic culture they have in that locker room. You've got Cardosa on the bench when Coach Witherspoon's drawing up the play, sitting there rolling her eyes. Apparently now she's not happy. She's not liking this. How they're favoring Angel Reese to get these to continue to get these double doubles, these meaningless double doubles at the end of games when the games are already over, getting her extra minutes just to try to get her these stats. So sounds like she's not too pleased with that and maybe wants out too. Could be a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt, but that's one thing I've been hearing. So sounds like that team is just full of drama, very toxic, and obviously Angel Reese plays hard. Any team would love to have a player like her. Don't get me wrong. She should start probably on every team in the league, but to throw her out into the category of any kind of postseason award is utterly ridiculous. Was there anything else on that? I think that's about it. So, hey, we're going to wrap up here with birthdays. We do actually have a birthday today, a birthday shout out. Happy birthday to 70th birthday, big number, Craig Van Hecken. Obviously, that person has the same last name as me. That is my father, phenomenal father, great dad. Probably, yeah, I mean, I would say that's where my love for sports started, was with my father. He was a huge Tigers fan, mostly a baseball fan, huge tennis fan as well. 1972 Holland High School state championship tennis team. He was a part of that. So he's a big tennis fan. I never really got into tennis, but definitely growing up in the 80s, in my younger years, I was all baseball. And I think that was due to his love of baseball and his love of the Detroit Tigers. He's also a football fan, and I kind of started getting into football more late 80s, which is also when, just due to the popularity of basketball that took off in the 80s, I started to get more into basketball. And I think I actually probably influenced him to get into to basketball. And now he is loving the Indiana Fever as well. We actually had his 70th birthday party yesterday, which was pretty fun. Great dinner. Back to my sister's house for dessert. We recorded the Indiana Fever game and we all watched it together, which was great. Which was and obviously Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever delivered a nice birthday present for him with a big win and a big game out of Caitlin Clark yesterday. 28 points. Tough game for the Fever. They got down by, I think, maybe even double digits, at least 9. And then back and forth in the second half. Phenomenal game. I cannot believe the Dallas Wings only have 9 wins. I mean, unless they were playing out of their minds that game. Holy cow. But anyway, Craig Van Heck, my dad, he shares a birthday with quite a few famous people. We'll start with, as I mentioned, he is a huge tennis fan. And I know that he already knew this because I know he's told me this in the past. His favorite tennis player, Jimmy Connors, shares a birthday with him. So Jimmy Connors has a birthday today as well. Also, I'll stay in the realm of athletes. Eric Dickerson, the great running back. Lennox Lewis, great boxer. Terry Bradshaw, the great quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, won a bunch of Super Bowls. And then you've also got New York Knick legend Nate Tiny Archibald. His birthday is today. And then in the world of acting, you've got Selma Hayek. Her birthday is today, along with Keanu Reeves. September 2nd is his birthday. And then I had to mention this one too, from my favorite 90s R&B group, one of my top 5 musical groups that I listen to still to this day, from the group Jodeci, the lead singer Casey Haley. His birthday is today as well. Also, he was one of the duos of the group with his brother JoJo, Casey and JoJo. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here. I'll just quick remind you all again, this is the last time we're going live on Mondays. We're moving the live show to Friday mornings going forward. The lineup show, the daily lineup show, 7 p.m. show, that was Tuesday. Still this week is all the same. This is all starting next week. The daily lineup show, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday show, that is now starting next week, going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The Saturday Morning Attack the Rack podcast with myself and Big Mo, that's going to stay on Saturday mornings. And then on Sundays, we've got the NFL Pick Show, which will be coming out at 9 a.m. And then at 10 a.m., the Prop Bet Pete Show, where he gives us 3 prop bets for the week. I hope you have a great Monday. Again, it's Labor Day. Hopefully you have a great holiday today. Have some time to recharge your batteries going into hopefully what will be a short work week. Hopefully you're not working today. And then hopefully you have a great week. Next time we meet here on the live show again, it'll be next week, Friday. Michigan will have played again, and the Detroit Lions will have had their first game. So that will give us a lot to talk about. Have a great day.